device is the Philips Hue sensor. It's the indoor version, the battery operated one. And in this video, what we're going to be covering is using this to have some really great practical applications, such as operating my bathroom light in after hours to only turn the lights on to 10 or 15%. A low-level nightlight type application is one of the best uses for this guy, and that can be in hallways or it can be in bathrooms, but definitely the toilets, so that you are not woken up when you go to use them in the middle of the night and you're not just getting the lights to turn on to 100%. So we don't need IFTTT, we can do this within the Hue app, so let's get started. Okay, so for this process to work in this scenario that we're talking about with the sensor, and you're going to need obviously a Hue bridge. We suggest using the Hue bridge. It's great for getting across all three platforms when you're using Stitchy. So in this example, I am using the sensor, I'm using a Stitchy and light, plus I have a Hue bridge set up. So this essentially is the kit you're going to need for this type of setup. Let's jump across to the iPad and look at how we set it up within Hue. Okay, so to make this work, I have the Philips Hue sensor here. I already have installed one of the Hue bridges. Obviously, we do a lot of connections over those for the 3 different voice platforms. I have here a Stitchy DIM connected just for a demo to one of our MR10s. Nice low profile MR10 there. So these are the parts essentially, and I already have accounts already set up. So when I go through on the iPad, the screen grab that, don't expect to walk through setting up an account. I've already put this into search mode, so if you're getting it the first time, it'll be easy. Otherwise, hold a little paper clip in the setup section here until you see the green light come on, and then it'll go into search mode. So let's jump across into the screen grab, and I'll walk you through that. The sensors come with a little rubberized magnetic plate. So this guy snaps onto any of the sides. So it's really cool because you can essentially put it underneath somewhere like this at an angle if you prefer, or you can just slide that guy in there and make it nice and flat. There's a good beam angle on this in terms of its sensitivity, and I'll walk you through some adjustments that we can have in the actual app setting. It's quite an advanced sensor for what it is. Okay, so we are in the accessories section. Go to settings, and then we're in the Hue app, obviously. Go to accessories setup, and we're gonna go ahead and add accessory. It asks you which particular one, and this sensor is a Hue motion sensor, not the outdoor version. So go ahead and search for it, and it'll tell you, okay, yep, get it ready. Is the LED blinking? Ours, as I mentioned before, is already in setup mode. So we're going to go ahead and search, try and find the device, and then with any luck, it'll find the guy, and we will go into the settings. All right, so we have it connected, and it says that it's good to go. So we're going to go ahead and close that. You can notice that you can toggle this on and off here, which is a really cool setting. We're going to go ahead and go into it to get the settings. Some of you will notice something straight away, and that's the number of controls that you can see here. So we're going to rename this lab test sensor. You can call it whatever you like. Oops, let me try that again. You know what? Let's call this the good old Australian dunny. Alright, so the first thing it's going to ask you to do, apart from the name, is where would you like to put this? So I'm going to go ahead, I've created a room in Hue already called toilet, and so I've popped that straight into toilet, and then it's going to ask you to set the behavior. So remember, our scene that we're creating is during the day. We don't want it to do anything at all. So that's not really our concern. We're going to go into this section and go do nothing. So between the hours of 8 and 8 and Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to create the time. Now, the thing that you'll notice with this is that there's no next button, okay? Because this is the start time of during the day hours. So we're going to say from 6. Now, it's summer now that we're doing this video in. So let's just say about 6 a.m. And then what we're going to do is we want nothing to be done here, and so we're going to go to the night. Okay, so this is the follow-on from the previous setting. It's a little bit confusing, I find this. There's no next button, so we're going to say, okay, from what time at night? Let's say 9 p.m. So you'll notice that the time has changed back up here. It's now from 9 till 6 a.m. What do we want to happen? So we're going to go into here and we're going to say nightlight. So that's the best thing about that guy there. So nightlight. And we're going to have it so when it picks up no motion after how long? So, you know, in the middle of the night when you're getting up, you're probably not going to spend all that amount of time. So let's say 2 minutes. And what do we want to happen after that? It turns off, or do nothing, or return to the previous state. So we're going to put it to off in this particular circumstance. That's the basic and the fundamental setting. You want to go up to the right hand corner and say save, if that's what you want to do. What I'm going to do now, just so I can capture a video, is I'm going to create another scene off camera just to show you what that looks like during its activation period, what a nightlight looks like. If you want to do any other advanced settings, and I'll just cover this quickly, down the bottom you've got daylight sensitivity, you've got a little sliding bar. Now that's great if you want to use this in particular areas where it might get other light sources. And then you've got like how sensitive. So they've just updated this with a bar, which is really great because what you can do is that it's displaying on screen when I'm actually moving. So if I stay still, what will happen is that it will go to motion off, so right now, and then I can slide this all the way down and then I can move. So it's basically like a test, but it's showing you on screen type of results. So what I'm going to do is, for the sake of this video, I'm just going to go high sensitivity. I'm going to go back and I'll set this scene up off screen, but this is my suggested scene to really make the most of these sensors at nighttime, and so that it's not a huge amount of light in your face. Let's test it out. Alright, so what I've done here is you've just seen me playing around with the settings in this. After I was in there, I have gone and adjusted it so that it's during the hours that we're now working in, not at night. And one of the things that I'll show you if you go in here, what I did have to change is that I needed to adjust the brightness to dimmed rather than night light. That's really going to depend upon the light that you're working with, what that setting is. So try dimmed, try nightlight. Nightlight wasn't enough on this particular MR10, it was too dim. There wasn't enough light to really power it up. And the thing is that if you start Stitchy on a low setting, let's say it's 3%, what'll happen is that it'll apply 3% power to the driver, and the driver might take quite a while to actually come on. Not exactly ideal if you're busting to use the toilet in the middle of the night. So play around with the brightness settings, but this is essentially what will happen. So during the night hours, it detects movement, and that is, not that you can tell by the camera, is dimmed. I can look directly at that particular light. And so after 1 minute of no movement, this turns back off completely. But you can set that to whatever you like. So there's the video on how to use this as a night light. This could be in the hallway for anyone that wants to get up in the night hours. It could also be in the bathrooms. This could also be in a pantry, just turning things on and off, and any of those other applications. If you'd like to see another product reviewed or installed with instructions, please hit me up, subscribe, and like the video. Thank you.